All right, this session is more based around strength work, and some of the movements are kind of more global strength, like bigger muscle groups, but there's a lot of kind of small muscle stuff, and particularly, for the want of a better word, some core work. So you'll ideally have a mat, you might want a towel and some water, and certainly some patience and perseverance, because there's some things in here that you're going to struggle to do. You might not be able to do it all. I might not be able to do them today. Things change day to day, so let's start anyway. I'm going to start on all fours and just going to do a little bit of movement through the back here. So you let the butt come up and then the chest come forward, then round through your back. So you're trying to get a rolling motion along your spine. And we're going to tie some breathing into this. As you bring this chest forward, breathe in. Now as you breathe out, purse lips, so lips slightly apart. And when you think about pulling your belly up towards your spine as you breathe out. Now, if you've had any work with kind of pelvic floor breathing, you'll want to add that into the mix. So breathing out, you draw your belly up towards your spine. Let's do a couple more. So you should feel this whole kind of area starting to engage. Okay, now this first one might take some perseverance. We're going to breathe in and let the leg come up, and we're going to look to get the foot to touch the wrist. So here, I'm getting my foot to touch the back of my arm here. We're going to do a few reps of this. So breathing in, lifting up, breathe out, bring the foot to touch the back of the wrist. Ideally that same breathing pattern if you can. One more this side. And then leg up, push the leg out, lift the arm up, and we're just going to hold here for a moment. Again, breathing out, lips slightly apart, pulling the belly up. As you breathe in, see if you can push your hand and heel away from each other. Okay, back down. Other side. Leg comes up. Foot comes through to touch the back of the wrist. See, I have a bit more trouble on this side. And then leg goes straight back, arm coming up. So make sure you're not rotating here. This hip stays level with the other hip. Okay, I'm going to come in to lift the hips up nice and high. And what we're going to do here is lift the right leg, just come through and touch the elbow. Other side. Two more. Okay, now you can either continue to do that on the other side, or this is quite a challenging position. We're going to come into a push up with the knee sliding down the forearm. Knee touches the back of my elbow, and slide down, back up. So on the other side, so you can see here, sliding down the forearm. If that's no good for you, just keep coming to touch the elbow and come back. Do a few more. One more each side. Slide down the arm. And then come back and hold here, catch your breath. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to open up this right hip, lift the leg, and then drop the leg all the way over. I'm going to lift my hips and drop my right arm over my head. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So the foot comes over, I lift the hip, and the hand comes overhead. Okay, now this time, right foot comes over, lift the hip up, step all the way through, so your foot is on the outside of your right hand. Now from here, this again, it's one you might need some patience with. We're going to look to lift the right foot off the ground as we come around. If you can't do it, just have a sense of trying to do it and get all these muscles to engage. You might not get the foot off the ground. Okay, so foot drops, lift the hip, step over, lift the foot off the ground. Come back over, foot comes through, lift, come back, drop the foot, hips up, hand on the ground, foot comes outside the hand, lift the foot, send it back, come over, lift the hips, one more. Now see if you can hold the foot up here and come back. Let's catch your breath. Okay, I'm going to open left side, foot comes onto the ground, lift the hips, send the foot through next to the left hand, lift the foot, send it back, up, hand on the ground all the way over, lift the foot, send it back, up, foot on the ground, lift the hips, two more, send the hips up, and last one. Now we're going to come up and try and hold. Try not to have your knee on your tricep. Whew. Send it back. Take a few breaths here. Okay, we're going to lift the right leg and step the foot again out on the outside of the right hand. Now holding here, we're going to look to get the belly just off the leg and the arms forward. We're going to hold here. So you should feel the glute, bit of core. A few more big breaths. Okay, drop the rear knee. What we're going to do here is slide back so we're stretching this right hamstring. And what we're going to do here is just going to look to lift the leg up and down. Okay, and then we're going to hold. So try not to have to come back too far. This should feel hard. Foot on the ground. Turn the rear foot to face to the side of the mat. What we're going to do here is slide our hips back and start to lean so we get a stretch through here. Try and turn your front knee towards your little toe. So rotate that out. Once you get to a point where you're stretching here, arms overhead and hold here. Long breaths. So you can come a bit lower. Hands back in. Hands on the mat. Step back, hips up nice and high. Bring the left leg to the left foot to the outside of the left hand, and then you're on the ball of the rear foot, hinging at the hip, belly just off the thigh, arms overhead. Long breaths here. Okay, hands on the mat, come onto your rear knee, and get a bit of a stretch through here. What we're going to do is look to do some lifts of this front leg. Okay, next one, hold. Foot on the ground, this foot's facing straight ahead. Rear foot is facing back. So you'll see my torso stays straight here. Getting a stretch through the front of that the left leg through the adductors, and arms overhead. Okay, hands come back in. Gonna bend the knee, bend the other knee. So feet are hip width apart here, and with hips in line with our knees. Weight on the heels. So don't have to come to the side of the mat here, because we're better off staying at the front, but it's easier for you to see what's going on here. So nice big breaths again. A few more breaths here. Okay, hands on the mat. Gonna slowly, so tiptoe your head forward. Gonna start to point the elbows back. Slowly lowering down. 5, 4, 3, 2, scoop the chest forward. Push in the tops of the feet, lift the hips off the ground. Nearly there. Feet on the balls of the feet on the mat. Step up, and you can just walk through however you want to get through to here. Kick the feet up, hands pointing here, trying to get a V shape. So don't want to lean back too much. You should feel your quads and everything working too. Two more breaths. Feet on the mat. Come back here. You're going to roll your spine onto the mat so the pelvis rolls off the mat first, and come up. Roll back down. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, down. Couple more. If you find you don't have much distance, you can walk your shoulders towards your feet a bit. It'll help you get higher. And pause here. Hands on the ground, and do some little lifts with the foot. So kind of just marching in this position. Trying to minimize hip rotating side to side. Okay, and then roll the back to the ground, bring the feet together. Arms overhead. And you might be surprised to find that's pretty much it. So you might like to just lay here, just chill out for a minute, get your breath back, have a little nap, whatever it is you want to do. Otherwise, come up and do whatever it is you feel like doing next. Well done.